How's it going, everyone? It's Ethan here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at our Titan Chain Mud Service Snow Tire Chains on our 2022 GMC Sierra. So these are the chains that you're going to want to pick up mostly for off-road usage, adventuring, things like that. They are pretty heavy duty and they do have this twisted link design, which is going to make for a bit of a smoother ride than, say, your square link chains in the same style. These are ladder style chains, which means they go straight across the tire. Going to be good for starting and stopping, not so much great for coverage and turning and things like that. But if you are using these for off-roading purposes, you're probably not going to be super worried about a smooth ride. They are made of a low carbon steel, which is probably the best case for chains that are twisted like this, because they could get brittle if you're out in the cold, and that could be a breaking point. So low carbon steel is going to be good for not breaking. However, it might not be as corrosion or rust resistant as an alloy chain, and it might not last you quite as long, but for the use of off-roading purposes, I think they'll last you a couple seasons at least. The chains do come two in a set in this bag, sort of a light canvas material. These are heavy duty chains. They are kind of heavy, and these are relatively new, but they're still already starting to make a little bit of a mark, starting to tear the bag a little bit. So if you do have these chains, we recommend that you go ahead and pick up some sort of plastic tote, something that's going to go ahead and keep the chains secure and keep the weather out. To start the install process, the first thing you're going to want to do is lay your chains out nice and flat, making sure that there's no kinks or tangles or anything like that. And notice with these chains, when we got them out, these links at the front have a tendency to get stuck. So if you pull this hard enough, they do eventually come out. Additionally, you're going to want to make sure that this lever is available to you in the front, as well as making sure that these hooks are flat, and this is the side that's going to make contact with your tire. You don't want the pointed side rubbing up against the tread. So, making sure that your chains are as centered as you can get them, you can start the install process by just draping the chains over the tires, and then spreading the chains out as well as you can to get yourself enough room to make our first connection in the back. So to make that connection in the back, all you want to do is hook the closest link that you can. We're going to go with the third in our case, but we can always come back and adjust that later. In our case, we did have to go back in the back and move it back up one link, so the connection in the back is actually on the second link. But to make the connection on the front, first, I like to start by sliding this initial link out of the way. We're going to be using the second link, and if we leave it up, it gets in its own way a little bit. But you feed this hook through the link and fold it backwards, which tensions the chains, and then you feed it into this catch at the end there. With these chains and most ladder style pattern chains, we do recommend going ahead and grabbing one of these rubber tensioners. They don't have any built-in tensioning, and as you drive, things tend to move around a little bit. But if you pick one of these up, you just go ahead and tighten it the way that you would remove a tire, basically, just cross pattern. And that will help get all of the leftover tension out of your chains and keep things secure. Once you've done that, that's pretty much it for the install. Go ahead and install the other set of chains on your passenger side. Roll forward and backwards just a few times to make sure that everything stays in place. Then you're ready to hit the road. Overall, if you're looking for sort of a middle of the road, off-roading, mudding type of tire chains, I think these are a great option. Again, that pattern, the low carbon steel are going to be good for that effect. And I think overall they're a good fit on the 2022 GMC Sierra.